Shalom Israel, Shalom, Shalom. Brother Naquam, Watchman for Israel, coming back at you with these precepts and another cold cut, giving, of course, our honor and our glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Mashiach, Wamalak Bashai. Double honors to the elect elders of the house of David that's been in this truth for decades and decades, patiently waiting and laboring for the second coming of our Lord Yahweh Shai. A hearty, mighty shalom to all of the mighty men of the Most High God who are out there on the highways and byways, pushing this truth, magnifying the ministry, presenting their bodies as a living sacrifice, and enduring all things for the elect's sake. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to all of the men that may not be out there on the highways and byways as of yet, but they're working on it. They're getting built up in the spirit. They're praying, they're fasting, they're studying, they're being diligent, and they're abounding in the work of the Lord. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to all of the Aquath out there, the sincere sisters that are out there zealous, diligent, and on fire, moving in the spirit of our righteous foremothers. Shalom to the ancient men. Shalom to the children. Shalom to the elect of Israel scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. And shalom to everybody tuning in live. Renee A, Dinah, Nakamaya, Shalom, Yvette McKellar, Azelikiel, Jezreel, Brother Azariah, Shalom, King Adasa, M. Williams 64, Nigel Blends, Yakar Salah, Shalom, King, Kasia Yah, Servant 144K, Don Israel to me, Yaakov Israel, and again, everybody else tuning in and that will tune in, Lord willing. In times, I mean, we can't stress this enough. We living in the end of the world. You see the uprisings going on amongst these nations. You see the tumults going on. You see these global peace treaties. You hear Trump saying that there will be no World War III. He's coming out boldly. I mean, completely against the grain. He's going completely against the grain and the script. He's going off script, bro. Here he is. He's saying there will be no World War III, right? He's saying that there will be peace out there. So we want to touch on these end times and how it relates to us. Let me pull that up in case brothers didn't see that. Right? Let me pull that up. Trump, no World War III. Right? Let me see if I can find that. Yeah, Trump said we're not, he says no World War III if we're smart. Right? And it has nothing to do with man. Right? It has nothing to do with man, but it has everything to do with the Most High. No World War III if we're smart. So he's taking matters into his own hands. Now, the Lord said, last time I checked, the will of the Most High is going to be done. Here it is, this damn double, no World War III if we're smart. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 13 real quick. I just want to get a quick precept on that. You know, let me just get a quick precept on that. You can't stop World War III. And what is man's wisdom? Right? What does man's wisdom have to do with anything? I thought the precept said in Obadiah and Jeremiah 49 that the Most High destroyed the wise men out of Edom. The Lord said in Isaiah 19 that there will be he will put a perverse spirit in the midst of Egypt and cause them to err in every work of judgment, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. So every decision that Babylon the Great is making is going to lead to World War III. Now, this is plain. Isaiah chapter 13 and verse number 22. I'll start at 19. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. We know that Sodom and Gomorrah was full of rampant homosexuals. They wanted to abuse the angels all night, man. And the Most High destroyed those cities with fire and brimstone. Babylon the Great, America is going to be destroyed in the exact same fashion. Verse number 20. It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. So there's going to be no corporations. See, the Arabian pitching tents here are like these oil companies that they're setting up. It's not as if there's an actual Arab who has an actual tent somewhere in the desert somewhere. You know, these are your oil companies, right? Your trade with OPEC. That's how these Arabs come and they set up stores and gas stations, and they get these loans to set up bodegas, and they have businesses and multi-billion-dollar deals, corporations, man, media deals, and all types of things that these Arabs have. The Lord said all those enterprises are going to be shut down. Verse 21. But the wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there. Because once America is destroyed in World War III, we give a damn what so-called Trump said, no World War III if we're smart, man. The Most High said that once this place is destroyed and that fire goes out, you're going to have a massive immigration of wild beasts. The entire world ecosystem is going to be changed, where owls and deserts are going to migrate to Babylon the Great. It's going to be the world's largest desert. Verse 22. And the wild beasts of the islands shall cry in their desolate houses, and dragons in their pleasant places. Here's the point. And her time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged. So here it is, no World War III if we're smart, but the Most High said her time is near to come. It's going to happen. And her days shall not be prolonged. So it doesn't matter if they want to have a global peace treaty. It doesn't matter if they want to sit down at a table and sign documentation. Don't build any more missiles. Don't do this. And it doesn't matter. Her time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged. The will of the Most High will be done. There will be a World War III, a nuclear holocaust on the face of the earth. Let's get one more real quick. I just want to touch on this because it's end times. It's going to tie into the lesson, right? Job chapter 24 and verse number 1. Why, seeing times are not hidden from the Almighty? Do they that know him not see his days? Now, when you read this chapter, it goes into all of the injustice and all of the crimes against the Israelites that the so-called white man is doing on the earth, right? What he does when he removes the landmark, he oppresses the children, he splits families, right? He takes away our heritage. He does all these things. But I want to jump down. Job chapter 24 and verse number 22. He draweth also the mighty with his power. He riseth up, and no man is sure of life. Yeah, when a so-called white man's military rises up, the other nations fear him. They let the so-called white man make military bases, embassies, right? They allow them to put tariffs on them, embargoes. They drop bombs. When he rises up, the Department of War, no man is sure of life. When the police pull over people, man, when they roll through the neighborhood, when ICE is going through, no man is sure of life. You have people fleeing, running down the street, hopping over fences, got their hands up, please don't shoot. I have children. When this devil rise up, death comes, and no man is sure of life. Verse 23, though it be given him to be in safety, whereon he resteth, yet his eyes are upon their ways. And it's given to the so-called white man by the Most High to be in safety. Right now. That's why there's no World War III right now. That's why there haven't been bombs dropping in America right now, because it's been given to Esau to be in safety and rest for now. And even though he's in safety, and even though there's no war right now in America, even though there's no nuclear holocaust and no famine, yet his eyes are upon their ways. So the angels are going to and fro, and they're recording all of the sins of America. The Most High will not let them get away with what they have done to the children of Israel. That's what he said. It may seem like it, but the angels are recording everything that you've ever went through. Every injustice, every remark, every slander, every backbiting, every whip, every tear, every blood drop that was hitting the soil. The angels are recording all of those things. Verse 24, they are exalted for a little while, but are gone and brought low. They are taken out of the way as all other, and cut off as the tops of the ears of the corn. And I love this verse because it's so reassuring. Just when you thought that your day, you had a horrible day, or you maybe were losing hope, or maybe your faith was lackluster, the Lord said, look, I'm gonna tell you something, man. Yeah, they're exalted for a little while, but so were the Egyptians. They were exalted for a little while. Every empire was always exalted for a little while, and then they were gone and brought low, and they were taken out of the way. The Most High said the so-called white men in America, they're nothing different. They're going to be taken away like every other kingdom. Verse 25. And if it be not so now, who will make me a liar and make my speech nothing worth? Man, you going meaning the Most High is not playing, man. It may not be now, but it's going to happen. You're not going to make me a liar. That's what the Heavenly Father said. The Most High is not a man that he should lie, neither the Son of Man that he should repent. Who are you to make the Most High a liar, man? He said her time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged. You going to tell us Most High that his speech don't mean nothing? When he said, behold, the third woe cometh quickly. All of the prophecies in Isaiah, the 13th chapter, Jeremiah, the 50th chapter, Jeremiah, the 49th chapter, Jeremiah, the 51st chapter, Revelation, the 9th chapter, Revelation, the 16th chapter, Revelation, the 19th chapter, 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, the 16th chapter, the 15th chapter. You're going to make the Most High all of the prophets liars? So we don't really care, man, what this guy said. Trump, no World War III if we're smart. We're in the end of the world, man. And World War III is coming. This is a call to leadership, man. A call to leadership. These world leaders, they're taking councils together. They're taking councils concerning digital, the system and the currency. They're taking councils concerning global anti-Semitic laws. They're taking councils regarding peace treaties against the children of Israel. They have leaders that are stepping up. It's time for the Israelites, man. You so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American men to step up through the spirit, man. If you know this truth, if you know that you're an Israelite and you're not stepping up to the plate to do anything or maximize your talents or your gifts or rise to the occasion, you are going off. You're going off. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 27. It's like Isaiah chapter 28. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 28. The days of hiding behind the keyboard, the days of you brothers sitting on the couch all day, the days of you brothers who are even out there, but you're taking days off or you're taking months off, those days are over. The Lord is raising up. Brothers have to be in full overdrive mode. This is, and every brother, like I always say, every brother is a leader in his own right. You brothers that have wives and children, or a wife and or children, you are a leader. You brothers that have a brotherhood, you are a leader to guide brothers out of sin. You don't have to be over 10,000 men to be a leader. And leaders are servants. So every brother should be a servant. Even the Apostle Paul said, he that is a free man is the Lord's servant. It's no more time. You have the counsels of the wicked are against us. There are devices against us. And we need brothers to galvanize under the name of Yahweh Shai and put this work in, man. Every brother should be putting this work in. Here's Isaiah chapter 28 and 7. And we're going to go through different men in the ancient world and what they did, man. We've always had prominent leaders. We've always had prominent leaders on the forefront to bring us together. Isaiah chapter 28 and 7. But they also have erred through wine, and through strong drink are out of the way. The priest and the prophet have erred through strong drink. They are swallowed up of wine. They are out of the way through strong drink. They err in vision. They stumble in judgment. Now, this is speaking about the estate of false leaders. They err through wine, meaning through philosophies, Christianity, primarily, democracy. These are the main politics, right? The media. All these things are spirits that allow our leaders to be drunk and take them out of the way. The way that they're supposed to go is this truth. That's the way. Did not Yahweh Shah say that in John 14 and 6? Let's get that. The way is Yahweh Shah. So when you begin to drink the wine of this society, and you brothers that are getting too engulfed in this world, you're going out of the way. Right? This is John 14 and 6. Yahweh Shah saith unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. So when you drink too much and you're too into this world, a lot of you brothers in these last days, you're losing sight of the mission, man. You have 10,000 hobbies. You're trying to heap up all of these wives. You're too invested in your job. You don't study anymore. You don't read anymore, or at least like you used to. You're slowly veering out of the way, out of Yahweh Shai. And he is the way. Right? Let's go to Acts 24 real quick. This Acts chapter 24 and verse 14. But this I confess unto thee, that after the way which they call heresy, so worship I the God of my fathers, believing all things which are written in the law and in the prophets. So this is the way that Paul went. The way that he went, they called it heresy. They called him being in the truth heresy. Right? So you can't stray from the way. The way is Yahweh Shai. And through strong drink, and there are brothers that are in leadership. If you're watching this and you're actually in a literal position of leadership, whether you're over, a city or a camp or a congregation, even outside of WFI, you may be, the Spirit may have had you stumble across this if it's the will of the Most High. You have to remain in the way of the Most High. And all these distractions of the world, of social media, these things, they're going to cause you to err in vision. The same way people drink and their vision becomes blurry and they stumble. You have to be mindful of that, man. Right? Isaiah chapter 28 and 8. For all tables are full of vomit and filthiness, and there is no place clean. And you even kind of see some of this even in the truth. You got so many false doctrines. You got so many heresies. Every day there's some new in-depth breakdown that has nothing to do with the truth. It's just perversion and cunning craftiness, right? Everything's just out of order, and there is no place clean. Verse 9, whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. So the men that the Most High is dealing with, and the men that the Most High is going to instruct, are those that are born again, those who have a clean mind, those who have repented, put away their sins, put away their transgressions, and are newly born into this truth. That's who the Most High is working with in the last days. Those are the men, and that's the first step. This is a call to leadership. If you haven't repented and you're still dealing with secret sins, hidden lust, darkness, confusion, then the Most High can't use you. He can't. The Most High can't use a brother that's being used by Satan. And I bring the precept out all the time in Malachi, the 3rd chapter. Then shall ye discern between the righteous and the wicked, between him that serveth God and him that serveth him not. There's only two types of people in the world in the last days: people that serve the Most High and people that serve him not. If you're being used by Satan, the Most High can't use you. So this is also a self-examination, right? For brothers to examine where that leaven is inside of you, where those sins are. And every brother battles something different. When we all battle demons, I battle demons, you brothers battle demons, you sisters watching, you battle demons. But you have to recognize these demons that are in you and these forces coming against you so you can understand how to defeat them. You have to accept the fact that you're at war with these forces and with these spirits, man. Let's go to Ezekiel. Actually, let's go to 2nd Ezra, the 1st chapter. Right? Let's go to 2nd Ezra, the 1st chapter. So the Most High is looking for men to step up. 2nd Ezra, chapter 1 and verse number 37. It reads, and again, I'll say this. There are so many skills that brothers have. There are so many talents that brothers have. There are things that you've even learned in the world that you can use for this knowledge. And you brothers that are in leadership, you're going to be attacked harder. Satan's going to come at you harder. Remember, Yahweh Shah told Peter that. Peter was over the church. And he said, Simon, Simon, Satan hath desired to have you, that he may sift you as wheat. And Luke 22 and 31 on down. But I have prayed for thee that thy faith fail not, and when thou art converted, strengthen thy brethren. So you brothers that are in leadership, you brothers that are over your households, Satan is going to come at you stronger and come at you more. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 1 and 37. I take to witness the grace of the people to come, whose little ones rejoice in gladness. And though they have not seen me with bodily eyes, yet in spirit they believe the things that I say. And this is speaking about us. We haven't seen Yahushua in the flesh. We didn't see the 5 loaves and the 2 fishes feed 5,000. We weren't at the wedding when Yahushua turned water to wine. I wasn't there when Yahushua was walking on the sea in the 4th watch of the night and calmed the sea and the waves. We haven't seen Jeremiah, literally. We haven't seen Daniel. But in the spirit, we believe the things that are written. So this is speaking about this generation now. Verse number 38. 2nd Ezra 1 and 38. And now behold, Slakia, and now brother, behold, what glory, and see the people that cometh from the east, unto whom I will give for leaders Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Oseas, Amos, Micahs, Joel, Abdias, and Jonas. So they got the Greek way of saying some of our forefathers. You got Hosea here, right? Amos, Micah, Joel, Obadiah, and Jonah. Nahum, Habakkuk, that's Habakkuk. Zephaniah, that's Zephaniah. Agaius, that's Haggai. Zachary, that's Zechariah. And Malachi, which is called also an angel of the Lord, because the word Malachi means messenger, just like the word angel in the Hebrew, right? It means messenger. They're similar. So the Most High said that he's going to give these men for leaders. Now remember, Ezra walked the earth, in the 5th century or so. That's when he was alive, to restore Israel and teach them the law, right? And to put structure into place and to build up our government. By this time, Abraham was already gone. So was Isaac, so was Jacob, so was Hosea. A lot of these prophets were already gone in the spirit world at this time. But the Most High said in these last days, he's going to send these men on the earth. So these men are on the earth and this very generation amongst us. Now, do we know who these leaders are? No, we don't know. And you might be Micah, huh? Yeah, you, brother, you might be Joel. You could be Obadiah. You might be Zephaniah. You might be Haggai. Somebody's these men. Somebody has to be one of these prophets. And what if it's you? What if you're Joel back on the earth, the prophet? Jonah, Obadiah. I mean, you got these beautiful visions in Obadiah about the destruction of Edom. And you taking your hand off the plow. You're slothful. You're lukewarm. You're too into the world. These men are leaders. They're set up to guide the nation of Israel. Abraham's back on earth. I don't know who Abraham is. I can't say, oh no, that brother's Abraham. Right? We don't know. How would we know? The Most High said there is no knowledge of the former things, paraphrasing in Ecclesiastes. Right? It's like, we don't know that, man. All we know in the spirit is that these men are alive and relevant. And that's deep. Let me go to Ecclesiastes, the 1st chapter. I'm not going to do a whole breakdown on regeneration, but the Bible calls it regeneration. Every spirit that has existed before is back on the earth in these last days. The world calls it reincarnation. The Bible calls it regeneration. So if you're here and you believe in Yahushua today, you were one of those men or women that believed in Yahushua 2,000 years ago. And you may have been one of the men or women at the wedding in Cana of Galilee. You may have been one of the men or women who got fed with the 5 loaves and 2 fishes. Maybe you're that daughter that was raised up from the dead. Maybe you're blind Bartimaeus. Maybe you're one of those men that was thronging and following Yahushua, man. The woman who had the infirmity for 18 years, she's back on the earth. All of those souls and spirits are alive in these last days. This Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse number 9. The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. So everything goes in a cycle. The water, when you read this chapter, the wind, the rain, plant life goes in a cycle. The sun has a course, right? The moon has a course. The seasons go in a cycle. The Most High said there's no new thing under the sun. Is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new? It hath been already of old time, which was before us. So you can't say, hold on, that's a new sun. No, that's the same sun that was there 24 hours ago. That's a new breeze. That's new wind. No, that wind has been circulating and it finally hit you. Well, this is new water I'm drinking. No, brother, that's not new water. Your fathers drank that exact same drop of water 2,000 years ago. The water evaporates, condenses, rains, transpires, evaporates. It goes through the same cycle. Even the person, you can't look at that baby and say, that's a newborn baby. That's a new baby. No, that spirit has been here before you. You were here a long time ago. And again, if you believed in Yahweh Shai now, you believed in Yahweh Shai back then. If you didn't believe in Yahweh Shai back then, those are the spirits that don't believe in him now. Ecclesiastes 1 and 11. There is no remembrance of former things, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those that shall come after. So you're not going to remember who you were. I can't say, well, I'm, Thomas, the one of the 12. I can't say that. I can't say, well, I remember when I had that, that fish that Peter drug off the shore, 153 of them. That was good. I remember that. No, I can't say that because I don't know who I am. You don't know who you are. So there's no remembrance of former things. Neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those that shall come after. So the generations that come after us, they're not going to know who they were either. And we're not going to know who we're going to be. We just know we die, we go in the spirit world, and we come back on the earth. Let's go to Psalms chapter 104. Right? Let's prove that a little bit further. This is Psalms chapter 104 and verse number 28. Right? Thou, Slakia, that thou givest them, they gather. Thou openest thine hand, they are filled with good. So the Lord gives creatures, man, food. He gives us water, nutrients, the meat, right? The Most High sustains his creation, and his creation is filled with good. Verse 29, Psalms 104 and 29. Thou hidest thy face, they are troubled. Thou takest away their breath, they die and return to their dust. The Lord could destroy man, and your body decomposes, and it goes back to the dust. Then what happens? Thou sendest forth thy spirit, they are created, and thou renewest the face of the earth. That's the cycle. That's the circle of life. You breathe, you die. It's all right here, right? Your breath, you breathe, you die, then you go to the dust. It's a 3-step process. You breathe, you die, you go to the dust. And what happens after that? The Lord sends that spirit back in another body. And then you're created again, and the Lord renews the face of the earth. Then you breathe, you die, you go back to the dust. So going back to this in 2nd Ezra, all these spirits are here. Let's read it again. 2nd Ezra chapter 1 and 39. Unto whom I will give for leaders, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Hosea, Amos, and Micah, Joel, Obadiah, and Jonah, Nahum, and Habakkuk, and Zephaniah, Haggai, Zechariah, and Malachi, which is called also an angel of the Lord. Let's go to 2nd Ezra chapter 2. And that's heavy, man. That those men are alive on the earth today. Rather, if you can receive it, A lot of brothers can't receive that, right? This is Second Ezra, chapter 2 and 13. So the Lord is dealing with, he's calling leaders. He said he's sending those men for leaders. They're leading the sheep back to the Most High. And you might be one of those men. Verse number 12, right? Actually, I'll read 13. Right? Let's see. This is what I want. Salakia. I want Second Ezra 2. I'm going to get straight to the point. Second Ezra 2 and 16, right? Second Ezra 2 and 16. And those that be dead will I raise up again from their places and bring them out of their graves, for I have known my name in Israel, right? That's the resurrection to come. Fear not, thou mother of the children, for I have chosen thee, saith the Lord. For thy help, I will send my servants Isaiah and Jeremiah, after whose counsel I have sanctified and prepared for thee 12 trees laden with diverse fruits. So we read about the 12 minor prophets. The 12 minor prophets are what you read about: Hosea, Joel, Amos, Obadiah, Jonah, etc. Then we read about our three forefathers. Now you're reading about the Most High is also going to send Isaiah the prophet and Jeremiah the prophet. All these spirits are here. All these men are alive. The 12 apostles, they are here. Paul, Timothy. There's a plethora of spirits that are back on the earth that the Most High sent to bring us together as a nation of people, right? Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 1 and 26, right? 1 Corinthians chapter 1 and verse number 26. And again, you don't know who's who. I don't know who's who, but we do know that there are leaders that are on the earth in the last days that the Most High is using to bring us together. And you can't have the mentality, well, I'm not Obadiah, I'm not Micah. Brother, you don't know who you are. All of the prophets, they didn't know what their lot was going to be, but they were called. And when they were called, they put their hand to the plow and they didn't look back. And when Amos was called, Amos said, I wasn't a prophet. Neither was I a son of a prophet, but I was a herdman and a gatherer of sycamore fruit. And the Lord took me as I followed the flock and said, prophesy to thy people Israel, paraphrasing greatly. Elisha was plowing with the 12 yoke of oxen, and he was with the 12. And Elijah came and put the mantle on him. He didn't know he was going to get the mantle put on him. But when the mantle rested upon him, he rose to the occasion. When Peter and John, or Peter and Andrew, were called, and the Lord said, I'm going to make you fishers of men, they didn't question, who are you? All of our fathers that were called, they put their hands straight to the plow. That's called having initiative. And they were zealous of good works, man. A lot of brothers are called, but they have no zeal. Some brothers are called, but they're still battling the same things they've been battling for the last 4 years, man. Your life is still out of order. Some brothers haven't even got their fringes yet. We haven't even tried to congregate. You never even went on a flyer mission. You never even dropped the precept. Right? You have these righteous examples of men who rose to the occasion. This 1 Corinthians chapter 1 and 26. For ye see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble are called. The Lord said, for ye see your calling. If you're watching this live, you were called. Now, do we know if we were chosen? No, we don't know. I don't know if I was chosen. You don't know if you were chosen. One thing that we can all testify and witness to is that we were called. And our calling is different than the calling of the world. The world calls the most prominent men with the most worldly accolades, highest degrees, most wealth, and they use them to push their message. Our calling is different. The Lord didn't call wise men after the flesh or mighty men. We're not mighty. We're not billionaires. We're not world-renowned athletes. We're not A-list celebrities. Our calling is a little bit different. The Lord is not calling it LeBron James. He's not calling it Jay-Z's. He's not calling the Diddy's, man. Verse 27. But the Most High chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. And the Most High had chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things that are mighty. So we are likened to the foolish things of this world. People with no language, no heritage, no nationality, right? With no understanding, no sense of direction. We're called the foolish things of the world. The Lord has called you to confound the things that are wise. This is why you were brought into this truth. You wasn't brought into this knowledge to sit on your ass. I'm going to just tell you straight up. It's lucky for the language, and it is what it is. You wasn't brought into this truth. Just sit on your behind and not do anything. And just wait for something to happen. He called you to confound the things that are wise. What are the things that are wise? The strongholds that are against our people. These false doctrines. Christianity, Islam, Egyptology, the folly of politics. You were called to break all that stuff down. And if you're not doing any of that on any level, you got to question yourself. How long is this calling going to last? It ain't going to last too long if you're not doing what you were called to do. The Lord called you to confound the wise and to confound the things which are mighty. This is our calling. To use the gifts and knowledge that the Most High gave us to tear down strongholds. And there are so many ways. You may not even, you have brothers that are not prominent teachers, but they do videos. They, like I said, brothers go on flyer missions. They drop multiple precepts. Brothers use every platform. Some brothers are on Clubhouse. They use Instagram. They're on Facebook. They're out there in their neighborhood. They go to malls. They drop the word. Some brothers, they got one tripod, one camp sign, and they're out there doing the work of the Most High. And what are you doing? You have to ask yourself, what are you doing? Some brothers travel 2 hours to get to camp, 2.5 hours to be around brothers to labor. 1 Corinthians chapter 1-28. And base things of the world and things which are despised hath the Most High chosen, yea, and things which are not, to bring to naught the things that are. So you were called to bring everything that's exalted. You were called to make it nothing. You're called to expose this society, man. That's what the Most High called you for. Your calling is not for you to sit down and do absolutely nothing with the talents and gifts the Most High gave you. He didn't call you to do that, man. Let's go to Psalms 94:16. And you have brothers, there are people in the world too who are they're failures at life. I'll just say what it is. They're failures at life. They're unsuccessful. They don't achieve anything. And these type of individuals who have no achievements, who are unsuccessful, who are failures at life, a lot of these people have one thing in common. Is they don't apply themselves, and they have the potential, but they don't apply themselves. A lot of brothers in Israel, you have the potential, you have the gifts, you have certain things the Most High blessed you with, and only you know. And you pray to the Most High. The Lord said, desire gifts. You have to pray for gifts. For the Most High to tell you what your gift is. And sometimes being around brothers are able to see what your talents and gifts are and set you up in the right direction. A lot of you brothers, you're not utilizing the potential that you have. I'm just to help Some brothers, you think you're just to help. You relegate yourself to the lowest calling because you don't want to do more. I had a precept I was thinking of. Most High willing, it comes back to me, right? But you don't want to have that spirit, man. Let's go to Psalms 94 and 16. Let's get the classic. It reads, "Who will rise up for me against the evildoers, or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity?" Now I say this: if Yahushua came to your house right now and he knocked on the door and said, "I need somebody to rise up for me," ain't no brother gonna be quiet, man. Ain't no brother gonna put their head down. If Yahushua said, "Who's gonna rise up for me?" I got every brother throwing their hand up, man. Two hands standing up. Come on, Kwam Yashala. That's what the Lord is saying, man. Who's going to rise up? Who's going to get up and do something about the evil, man? Our people are scattered abroad. Who's going to put structure into place? You don't have to be part of WFI to set up a camp, man, or to go out there and do the work. Who's going to rise up against the evildoers? Who's going to stand up for the Most High? I thought Yahushua stood up for you. Last time I checked, Yahushua was buffeted, spit upon, beat upon, crucified, mocked, tortured, crown of thorns, bore the cross, died, was on the cross, 9 a.m. to the 9th hour, man. Endured hardships unto death. He stood up for you, man. You can't stand up for Yahushua. That's a damn shame. Some of you brothers, you ought to be ashamed of yourself that you have yet to stand up against the workers of iniquity. Right? You ought to be ashamed of yourself, man. Let's go to Job chapter 21 and 31. The Lord said, who gonna stand up? You gotta have a mind, I'm gonna stand up. What can I do? Let's put my hand to the plow. This is Job chapter 21 and 31. It reads, who shall declare his way to his face, and who shall repay him for what he had done? This is another verse, man. Who's going to declare his way to his face? Whose face? The so-called white man's face. Who's going to go out there and fulfill the prophecy of 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, and then shall that wicked be revealed? You got brothers that have all this knowledge, they got all these books, and they ain't doing nothing with it. You got all this understanding, you're not doing nothing with it. You're not applying yourself. You're not maximizing your potential. You're putting yourself in a box. And that's the spirit, all person most. That's the precept I wanted. The Lord said, desire spiritual gifts. Let me get that real quick. The Lord said, who's going to repay him for what he had done? Right? This is 1 Corinthians chapter 14 and verse number 1. Follow after charity and desire spiritual gifts, but rather that ye may prophesy. Your prophecy is a chief gift, but you have to have a mind to desire spiritual gifts. You got to have that mind, man. I know, hey, when I'm at camp, man, most High willing, the spirit is on me. I want to do anything. I want to do everything. I want to be the best reader to help the word go out. When I'm teaching, I want to give my all teaching. If I'm holding posts, I want to give my all holding posts. If I'm on a camera, I'm going to try to get into that camera, man. And make sure, Israel gets something, that brothers want to see. If I'm on the flyer mission, most of them, I'm going to go hard at the flyer mission. If I have the knowledge of this, and you want to desire spiritual gifts and not put yourself in the box and stop relegating yourself to just the bottom. I'm just a reader. Brother, maybe you could do more, man. I don't want to congregate with brothers. They'll never accept me. You got to get out of that mentality. What if, and there's so many examples, what if Nehemiah didn't stand up, man? What if Ezra never stood up? What if Mordecai never stood up? Then we'd be gone. It takes a certain type of man to rise to the occasion. What does that mean for brothers that don't know? What does it mean to rise to the occasion? Rise to the occasion means to successfully deal with a difficult or important situation by performing better than usual. It implies a person meets a challenge, often one that is unexpected, and finds the skill, courage, or effort to succeed. The Most High is looking for brothers to rise to the occasion. He's not looking for brothers to ride the coattail. He's not looking for fans. What scripture says all of the fans are going to make it? The Most High is not looking for fans. The Most High is not looking for brothers sitting on their ass, man. There's something that the men of the Most High can do. There's something you can do, even dropping a precept in the chat to edify the flock. There's something that you can do. It's time to rise to the occasion, man. I mean, how much time do we have left? And like we were saying on the Monday Night Fire, there ain't no woulda, shoulda, couldas in the days of evil. It's time to do it now. Oh, man, I should have did this. Oh, I could have did this. Oh, man, if only I would have. I should have. No, man, do it now. Desire spiritual gifts. Pray to the Most High. If you don't know what your gifts and talents are, pray to Yahweh Bashmi Shai to show you what your gifts and talents are and how they can be used to profit the elect of Israel. Let's go to James, the first chapter. The Lord said he give it to all men liberally, man. Right? This is James chapter 1 and verse number 17. Every good gift and every perfect gift is from above, and cometh down from the Father of lights, with whom is no variableness, neither shadow of turning. So all gifts. You may see a brother that's has an excellent memory, or he's a fire teacher, or a powerful reader, or he's good with history, or this brother's good with the herbs, or to help the nation, or all those gifts, they come from above. And there's nothing that those men have done, will do, or have done, or that they're doing that allowed them to get that. It's from the Most High, coming down from the Father of lights. And as freely as the Most High gave a gift to that brother, and that brother, he has gifts for you. You're supposed to pray to Yahweh Bashmi Yahushua for these gifts and desire gifts to better and build the nation of Israel, man. That's what brothers are supposed to be doing. That's why the Most High is asking this in Job 21 and 31. Let's read it again. Job 21 and 31. Who shall declare his way to his face? That's a bold statement. Who's going to look at the so-called white man face to face, man, and tell him his ways, man, and he's off, and he's the devil? You got some brothers out there, they said that I don't want to get on the so-called white man. I'm scared. What if I lose my job? The hell with you. What the hell with that, man? What if my boss sees me? What if my aunt sees me out there? What if it gets confrontational? What if you don't listen? You got to declare his way to his face, man. Right? You got to have a mind of vengeance. You got to have a mind of vengeance, man. There's no way in hell I can sit back. This is me speaking as a man. There's no way in hell I can know all of the wickedness that these devils have done for hundreds and thousands of years to my forefathers, my foremothers, my brothers, my sisters, brothers' wives, their children, our children, and sit on my damn hands. There's no way I couldn't live with myself. We brothers have to rise to the occasion, man. You got to do something, right? This is Jeremiah chapter 1 and verse number 18. I'm going to start at 17. Thou therefore gird up thy loins and arise and speak unto them all that I command thee. Be not dismayed at their faces, lest I confound thee before them. And the Most High not playing, man. See, one thing about the Most High, he's, you know, the Most High is not like like man. He's not man. When you read about Joshua had, he was on his face and he said, Lord, why did you allow us to flee before our enemies? The Most High told Joshua, he said, get up, man. What you on your face for, man? One of your men went off. Go figure that out, man. He told Joshua, get up. Jeremiah said, I'm a child. What am I going to do? The Lord said, you better get out there. I'm going to confound you in front of them, man. Job, all these men was talking. The Most High said, gird up your loins like a man, for I will demand of thee, answer thou me. So the Most High, hey, look, man, he don't play around. Moses said, Lord, just show me the way. Just want to see the promised land. He said, stop asking me. It's the end of that. It's over with. I don't want to hear that no more. Stop playing around with the Most High, man. He told Jeremiah, if you don't go out there and do that work, if you get scared out there, I'm going to confound you before everybody. That's heavy. So there are stipulations that come with doing this work. When you do this work, you have to believe that the Most High is with you doing this work. If you go out there scared, you'll never be successful. I remember I was watching it was The Last Dance documentary that came out years and years ago. And they had John Stockton. Brothers, you know who if you know who John Stockton is, you can look it up. John Stockton, the point guard. They asked John Stockton, were you scared playing against Michael Jordan, Dennis Rodman and all of them, man? Scottie Pippen. He said, and he's an Edomite. He said, I don't know how anybody could play scared. We won't win. He said, because people are intimidated to play against these guys and they'll lose. He said, I don't even know how you could play the game intimidated. A lot of brothers, they go out there. You can't go out there being intimidated. The Most High is with you, man. Now, if you go out there and you don't believe in the Most High, he's going to confound you, embarrass you. There are brothers that have gotten embarrassed, that have gotten confounded out there. This is Jeremiah 1:18. For behold, I have made thee this day a defense city, and an iron pillar, and brazen walls against the whole land, against the kings of Judah, against the princes thereof, against the priests thereof, and against the people of the land. And they shall fight against thee, but they shall not prevail against thee. For I am with thee, saith Yahweh, to deliver thee. The Lord said, go out there, do the work. I'm with you. I'm going to make you invincible out there. You're going to be untouchable out there. Just go out there and you see how much I'm going to be with you. Just go out there. You'll see that I'm with you. You're going to be an iron pillar, unmovable, impenetrable, protected against everybody. They're going to fight with you. You're going to catch hell, but they ain't going to win because I'm with you. Just go out there. That's all our brothers got to do. Get up and do this work, and the Most High is with you, man. You got to believe that. You have to believe that Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, is with you. Let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 10. Right? Let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 10. Now, when you read 1 Samuel, remember that Saul was anointed to be king. Saul was anointed to be king over Israel, over Judah, right? This when the kingdom was unified. And Saul actually took the oil and anointed him, and he told him what would happen, with him being king. Now, I want to jump down. Actually, I'm going to read 1, then I'll jump down. we're going to go into what not to be like. This is 1 Samuel chapter 10 and 1. Then Samuel took a vial of oil and poured it upon his head and kissed him and said, is it not because the Lord hath anointed thee to be captain over his inheritance? So Samuel was anointed. You were anointed as well. You may not have been anointed with physical oil, but you were anointed by the Holy Spirit to be a priest, to be into this truth. Right? Let me get that real quick. The Lord said we have an unction and we have an anointing in 1 John. Right? This is 1 John chapter 2 and verse number 20. Right? 1 John chapter 2 and I'll read 27. 1 John 2 and 27. But the anointing which ye have received of him abideth in you, and ye need not that any man teach you, but as the same anointing teacheth you of all things, and is truth, and is no lie, and even as it hath taught you, ye shall abide in him. So the Holy Spirit, that's the anointing that rests upon us and teaches us all things that pertain to this truth. So we were anointed. Saul was anointed. Let's see what not to do when you are anointed by the Most High. Because if you're watching this and you're in this truth, you were anointed. And that comes with responsibility. The day that you're anointed is the day that you have responsibilities, that you have obligations. A lot of Jake, you're not used to responsibility in the world. You know, a lot of Jakes, you're slothful. You sit on the couch. You got a baby boy spirit. You have no zeal, no initiative, no drive, no passion to do anything. Some brothers play video games all day. They wait for their mother to come home to put dino nuggets inside of the oven, applesauce, and a goddamn high C cup, man. The small ones with you put the straw in them. Some brothers have no responsibility. But when you come into this truth, I'll say it again. You are anointed by the Most High, and you assume various obligations and responsibilities. The same way a priest would or a king would. So let's jump down. It's 1 Samuel chapter 10 and verse number 20. It reads, and when Samuel had caused all the tribes of Israel to come near, the tribe of Benjamin was taken, right? Because they're casting lots to show who the king is going to be. So all the tribes came near, and the tribe of Benjamin was taken. When he had caused the tribe of Benjamin to come near by their families, the family of Matri was taken, and Saul, the son of Kish, was taken. And when they sought him, he could not be found. And that's off. That's off, man. You can't be anointed and men are looking for you, but they can't find you. You don't go to camp. You don't put your hand to the plow. You don't do the work. Men are looking for you. They were looking for Saul to be the captain and king. He couldn't be found. Let's see where he was. Verse 22. Therefore, they inquired of the Lord. So they couldn't find him. This is off. So they had to inquire of the Lord, where is Saul? Therefore, they inquired of the Lord further, if the man should yet come thither. And the Lord answered, behold, he hath hid himself among the stuff. Don't be the brother hiding amongst the stuff when you're anointed by the Most High, man. The stuff is just a general term for things. Some brothers hide themselves amongst weed, man. They may hide themselves amongst women, hide themselves behind the keyboard, hide themselves at their job, hide themselves with secret sins. Here you are anointed. Israel, we need you to put your hand to the plow, but you're hiding amongst the stuff, man. Nobody could find you. You go AWOL. Hiding amongst the stuff, man. Don't have a Saul-like attitude. When you're anointed and called, it's time to rise to the occasion. They shouldn't have to find Saul. Nobody should look for you, man. Nobody should make you want to do the work. You have some brothers, you got to damn near, I'm speaking figuratively, you damn near got to beat them up, man, to get them to do a video. You got to threatened to suspend the brother to go to camp, huh? You got to damn near kick a brother out to do a live, to do a lesson. You got to light a fire under a brother, literal, spiritually, a fire under a brother, man, just to get him to come to camp on time because he's hiding amongst the stuff. So you got to do this thing willingly. You got to willingly have a mind to labor and do the work of Yahweh Bashmi Yahushua. Right? Let's go to Galatians chapter 1. Let's go to Galatians chapter 1. Don't be like Saul. And your anointing, don't hide amongst the stuff, man. You should be ready when men need you. And the Most High is calling an army. And again, I've never been part of the military, but I'm pretty sure, I'm very certain actually, that the military is composed of different operations. I worked with an Edomite. He said he was in the IT department in the military. You have people that work in the medical field within the military. You have the infantry, right? You have people that there was this one Jake, man, I met years ago. He what did he say he did, man? He was like a like air traffic kind of person in the military. Everybody has different skills in the military. And the Most High has an army. And whatever talents and gifts you have, you got to rise to the occasion and use them, huh? Right? And not hide amongst the stuff. Don't hide amongst the stuff. Galatians chapter 1 and verse number 15. This is Paul speaking. Galatians 1 and 15. But when it pleased the Most High, who separated me from my mother's womb and called me by his grace, to reveal his son in me, that I might preach him among the heathen, immediately I confer not with flesh and blood. This is what you call initiative. A key trait of leadership is initiative and zeal. They go hand in hand. So when Paul had the Most High and the truth revealed to him to do the work of the Most High, like many of us, Paul's mind was, well, hold on. I have to do this work right now. I can't tarry. I can't wait. He says, immediately I confer not with flesh and blood. Man, I didn't go check in with a brother. I didn't go call his brother. Should I go? Should I do the work of the Most High God? I was brought into the truth. Should I put my hand to the plow? Should I labor? Should I go out in the vineyard? What? No. He said, I was brought into this truth. Let's get right to it. Immediately, I confer not with flesh and blood. That's the spirit that you want to be in. Some brothers, you're waiting years, man, to confer with flesh and blood. Yeah, I was just calling to see, should I do the work of the Most High? Or brother, hold on, brother. Yeah, dear WFI, you sent 5 paragraphs. And at the end of the paragraph, the last sentence was, should I do the work? You don't always have to confer with flesh and blood, man. Once you have this calling, you have this knowledge, do this work. Paul said, immediately I conferred not with flesh and blood, neither went I up to Jerusalem to them which were apostles before me, but I went into Arabia and returned again into Damascus. So he went to Arabia to do the work, and he came to Damascus. That's called initiative. Strong leaders have initiative. It's good to receive instruction. We all know in Acts, the 8th chapter, the Ethiopian eunuch, the Israelite, he said, how can I accept some man shall guide me? We all have to be instructed. The Most High set up leadership and structure for us as a nation. But, you want to have a level of moderation in your spirit where you have passion and initiative to do things. Even if you're part of a camp, you may have an idea. Bring that idea. Now, is your idea always going to be accepted and passed through? No. But you have the initiative. You'd be a fool to think that everything that you thought that you said was just going to be, taken and run. No, that may not happen. That's reality. Everybody's not going to agree, but at least you have the initiative. You have drive. You have passion to want to better your nation. That's the spirit that Paul had. Galatians 1 and 18. Then 3 years I went, Slakia, then after 3 years, I went up to Jerusalem to see Peter and abode with him 15 days. But other apostles saw I none, save James, the Lord's brother. Now the things which I write unto you, behold, before the Most High, I lie not. So the apostle Paul was on fire, man. He heard this truth, he heard this knowledge, and he ran with it. He ran with it. That's the spirit you have to have, right? Let's go to First Esdras. Have a Paul spirit. Have initiative. You can go out. You can make your own flyers. You could. There's so much that you can do, right? This is First Esdras, chapter 4 and 42. So when you read First Esdras, right, Salakia, when you read First Esdras, remember you read about Zerubbabel and 2 other men who essentially had a competition, and the competition was who writes the wisest saying. Whoever writes the wisest saying, they're the king's cousin, and they get these rewards. We all know Zerubbabel, being a Judite, he came out on top. Now, here's what the Lord put in the spirit of the king to ask Zerubbabel. So let's read First Esdras 4 and 42. We're going over these different leaders, and we're going to take the things that they have done, and we're going to apply it to ourselves in this truth, because we have examples. You don't have to, people, you grow up, you're looking up to Martin Luther King. That was your only leader. Malcolm X. You really only had 2. That's all they gave you. But in this knowledge, you have so many leaders who had so many different skills and approaches and zeal that they had. This is what we have to learn from. First Esdras chapter 4 and 42. Then said the king unto him, ask what thou wilt, more than is appointed in the writing, and we will give it thee, because thou art found wisest, and thou shalt sit next me, and shall be called my cousin. So the king has power to give Zerubbabel whatever he wants. Just ask, and I'll give you whatever you want. I wonder what a brother would say, man. Right? If these elites, if these world powers came to you and said, ask whatever you want, I'll give it to you. You'll sit next to me. You'll receive wealth, riches. Just ask what thou wilt. And that could be tempting to a brother. You know what, man? I need my rent paid. You know, I'm kind of down on my gas bill. You know, I kind of need a better car. I'm sick of taking the bus. You know what? I kind of need my medical bills paid because I'm falling behind. A lot of brothers might get carnal and selfish. Let's see what a leader does. First Esdras 4 and 43. Then said he unto the king, remember thy vow, which thou hast vowed to build Jerusalem, and the day when thou camest to the kingdom. He said, this is what I wanted. This is what I want. I want you to remember that you said that you're going to build up Jerusalem. That's bold. Leaders are also bold. And leaders, they put the nation before they put themselves. And I always say, one thing I always say through the spirit of the Most High is, don't make yourself bigger than what the Most High is setting up. Don't make yourself bigger than His truth. Don't make yourself bigger than the brotherhood. Don't make yourself bigger than the nation of Israel. This is bigger than us. Don't be selfish and overthrow what the Most High is doing right now through your own lust. Don't be like Rhodicus. Don't be like Achan. Don't be like certain men who just, through their own lust, they destroy the whole nation and get men killed and single-handedly pull down kingdoms. Be like Zerubbabel. When he was asked whatever he want, he said, I'm thinking about my people. That was on his mind. Verse 44. And to send away all the vessels that were taken away out of Jerusalem, which Cyrus set apart when he vowed to destroy Babylon and to send them again thither. So you know this was on his mind nonstop, right? I gotta build my nation up. I gotta build up Israel. I gotta build up my kingdom. Verse 45. Thou hast also vowed to build up the temple which the Edomites burnt when Judea was made desolate by the Chaldeans. And now, O Lord the King, this is that which I require and which I desire of thee. And this is the princely liberty proceeding from thyself. I desire, therefore, that thou make good the vow, the performance whereof with thine own mouth thou hast vowed to the King of heaven. He said, this is what all I want is you keep your word that you're going to build up the nation of Israel. That's what he said. You keep your word. And I'm not going to read this whole chapter, but you brothers that didn't read First Esdras, read how the Most High was working with Zerubbabel. This is called initiative, selflessness, being a servant, denying himself. He could have had all of the wealth in the world. See, a lot of brothers, you're selfish, man. We're in the flesh, you might get selfish. You have to make your body a living sacrifice for the Most High. This is not about us. This is about the kingdom of heaven. This place is going down. I don't know if anybody told you, but you're living in the last days. You're living in the end of the world. This place is over with. It's done. It's finished. We're looking in the world to come. So let's jump down. Let's go to the 5th chapter. His whole mind, that's a beautiful mentality to have. His whole mind was, I got to build up the nation, not build up myself. He could have asked that king for all types of things, man. Wives, a palace, gold, fine garments, the best food. So here's the fruit of his labor. First Esdras chapter 5 and verse number 1. After this were the principal men of the families chosen according to their tribes to go up with their wives and sons and daughters, with their men servants and maid servants and their cattle. So simply because he did that, he freed his people. He freed his people from bondage. And you want to have that mind where you're bold, strong, and you're freeing your people from certain things that they struggle with. They may not be, you may not literally, because we can't literally free our people from America. That's why we have Yahushua. We know what Deuteronomy 28 and 29 says. No man shall save thee. Deuteronomy 28 and 68 says, no man shall buy you. But we're still in bondage. You have brothers that are in bondage to this sin. They struggle with this. They have this infirmity. This weighs heavy on their spirit. It's up to you, brothers, especially you brothers that are in positions of leadership, to liberate that through prayer, through fasting, through counsel, through instruction. So this all these families were able to go back. I'm going to jump down to verse number 5. The priest, the sons of Phinehas, the son of Aaron, that is supposed to be Joshua, the son of Josedek, the son of Serahias, and Jehoiakim, the son of Zerubbabel, the son of Salathiel, of the house of David, out of the kindreds of Phares of the tribe of Judah. So all Joshua, Zerubbabel, I mean, this single-handedly got the temple built. Single-handedly, because Zerubbabel was selfless. Single-handedly restored. That's leadership. That's leadership. And he wasn't being called governor. He was remember, Zerubbabel, he was actually the bodyguard of the king. A lot of brothers, some brothers are waiting on titles. Or you think because you don't have a title, you can't do anything. Zerubbabel was a bodyguard to the king. Then he became the governor. He was a leader before he was a governor. And that's how most leaders are. Most leaders are leaders before they receive the office or title of a leader, before they're a captain, before they're a lieutenant, before they have particular rank. They're already leaders in their own right. And you see that. Yeah, a lot of coaches see that, man. Coaches have to determine who's going to be the captain of the team. And they're looking at who has the, leadership qualities, who's selfless, who exhorts the team, when they're down, who puts the team in their back. And the coach look at that. When it's damn the end of, training and practice, whatever, they'll pick 4 to 5 captains because they were already captains before they were captains. Zerubbabel was already a governor before he was a governor. Remember, the Most High, he's going to make governors amongst us. Let's go to Zechariah chapter 12 real quick. Right? So these men that are going to be in the kingdom of heaven, the 144,000, in a governing body of Israel, they're already in this life going to be doing things that align with that. Right? Zechariah chapter 12 and verse number 5. And the governors of Judah shall say in their heart, the inhabitants of Jerusalem shall be my strength, and the Lord of hosts their God. And that day will I make the governors of Judah like an hearth of fire among the wood, and like a torch of fire in a sheaf, and they shall devour all the people round about, on the right hand and on the left. And Jerusalem shall be inhabited again in her own place, even in Jerusalem. So you're reading in the kingdom how we're going to be subduing the nations, and men are going to be called governors. They're going to be called governors based off of what they're doing in this life. You're not just, the Lord isn't going to, it's not going to be there's no democracy in the kingdom. People aren't going to vote, wow, I want this brother to be my governor. Well, I want this brother's. No, the Most High right now, he knows who's going to be a governor in the kingdom, who's going to be an officer, who's not quite a captain. So he's not going to get that. He might just be, a damn collector of the tribute. The Most High right now, he's hand selecting who's going to hold what office amongst the men of the Most High. That's what the Most High is doing. So you want to have that mind of, you're already thinking like a governor. You're already thinking like a king. You already have a leadership mentality. You're going to have an easy transition. The Most High is going to easily just transition you into that role in the kingdom. Don't expect to have a high rank in the kingdom of heaven when you're doing garbage time and absolutely nothing at all. You're doing literally nothing. Don't work like that, man. Have that mind like Zerubbabel. He was already a governor before he was a governor. And a lot of brothers care too much about rank and title. Yeah, I'm going to tell you something. You're not going to carry your rank and title in the kingdom. And also, you have brothers that are in high rank in this life. That doesn't mean you're going to have that same lot in the kingdom. It doesn't mean that. So whatever you got in this life, it might be a brother under you in the spirit right now, but in the kingdom, he might be over you. So rank and title play a role in structure for governance and for order, protocol. The Most High did set it up, but it doesn't mean it's just going to be a transition like that into the kingdom. Doesn't mean that, right? Let's go to the book of Judges, chapter 11, right? Let's go to Judges, the 11th chapter, and verse number 4. So this is a call for action. Every brother that's watching should be taking action. Even you sisters, man. There are things that you sisters can do that, that are woman things that pertain to helping the brothers out, man. This is Judges chapter 11 and verse number 4. And it came to pass in process of time that the children of Ammon made war against Israel, right? Verse 5. And it was so that when the children of Ammon made war against Israel, that the elders of Gilead went to fetch Jephthah out of the land of Tob. Remember, so earlier in this account, they actually thrust out Jephthah, and he said, you're the son of a strange woman, and you can't be within his house or have inheritance with us. And all hell broke loose, and he said, I don't know about that move we made earlier. Let's bring Jephthah back. We need him. He's a strong man. So they went to fetch him back. Verse 6. And they said unto Jephthah, come and be our captain, that we may fight with the children of Ammon. And Jephthah, and that's a heavy task. I mean, this is actual bloodshed and war going on. Let's see how Jephthah responded. And Jephthah said unto the elders of Israel, did not they hate me and expel me out of my father's house? And why are ye come unto me now when ye are in distress? And the elders of Gilead said unto Jephthah, therefore return again to thee now, that thou mayest go with us and fight against the children of Ammon, and be our head over all the inhabitants of Gilead. They said, we need you, right? And Jephthah said unto the elders of Gilead, if ye bring me home again to fight against the children of Ammon, and the Lord deliver them before me, shall I be your head? I mean, if I fight them and I destroy them, you're going to put me back in power. And the elders of Gilead said unto Jephthah, the Lord be witness between us, if we do not so according to thy words. Then Jephthah went with the elders of Gilead, and the people made him head and captain over them. And Jephthah uttered all his words before the Lord in Mizpah. So Jephthah had a different spirit than Saul. Saul hid amongst the stuff. Jephthah had a spirit where the people needed him. They made war. We read in verse 4, they made war against Israel. Aren't we at war right now? This is war. There is spiritual warfare going on. There's physical warfare. There's biological warfare. There's mental warfare. I mean, we are at war. We're at war against all these nations. What time is this? What, 1:25 in the morning on the East Coast, man? You don't think right now that there's some think tank, some crafty council going on behind the scenes on how they're trying to stop this ministry? In times of war and times of distress, you got to rise to the occasion, man. You have to think about your nation. Jephthah said, you know what, man? Y'all thrust me out. Y'all didn't treat me right. But you know what? I got y'all. I got y'all, man. Don't sweat it. It's not about me. And he could have said, you know what, man? The hell with y'all, man. Y'all thrust me out. Y'all deal with it. That's your problem. Again, this is selflessness. This is putting a nation before you. And he had a right to be upset. He said he felt some type of way. Did not you hate me? But he didn't put his emotions over the nation of Israel. A lot of you brothers, you put your emotions over doing this work. Your own feelings. People. This has nothing to do with your emotions, man. He could have got emotional. He could have cussed him. I said, man, y'all, man. Jephthah said, I got y'all. Put it on my back. It is what it is, man. I got y'all. We at war? Yeah, I feel some type of way, but hey, we'll handle that later. Right now it's wartime. That's the brothers you need around you, man. Even if you beefing with a brother, y'all at odds, but hey, look, man, look. We're going to put that to the side. We're going to handle that. Right now it's wartime. You need a brother like Jephthah right there. Now, did Jephthah do everything in his life and wisdom? No. But he had a spirit to put his emotions on the back burner and his own personal feelings on a back burner to save his brothers. That's what he did. Now, I'm not going to read this whole thing. Let's go to Judges chapter 12. Right? This is Judges chapter 12 and verse number 1. So Jephthah ended up defeating the Ammonites. He had to offer up his daughter. The Ephraimites, right? They came out and they was mad. So I just want to read one verse. Or actually, I'll read 1. I'll read 1 through 3. Judges 12 and 1. And the men of Ephraim gathered themselves together and went northward and said unto Jephthah, wherefore passest thou over to fight against the children of Ammon? And didst not call us to go with thee? We will burn thine house upon thee with fire. Hold on now. Hold on. The Lord said in Romans 10 and 1 that I bear them record that they have a zeal of God, but not according to knowledge. These Ephraimites were so zealous to fight against their enemies. They got mad that they wasn't called to battle. They got so mad they told Jephthah, we're going to burn your house with fire. That's how much these Ephraimites love their nation. Imagine that, man. Imagine you a brother, and I would feel, I know a lot of other brothers, most brothers in the camp will feel some type of way. If, let's say it's 5-man camp, 4 brothers went to camp, impromptu camp somewhere, and they didn't call the 5th brother. And that 5th brother, he's going to be mad. Now, if that 5th brother's not mad, he didn't need to come any damn way. It's a problem with that brother. But that 5th brother should be mad. Hold on, why y'all go to camp and didn't let me know? I got some precepts. I got my Bible. I've been studying. I want to read. Let me hold posts. That's how the children of Ephraim were, man. So what the hell is your problem? Why are you fighting the heathen and then let me get no blood in, man? I want bloodshed. I want war. So these Ephraimites was on fire. He said, we're going to burn your house. He said, we're going to burn. Now, this is a little bit extreme. We will burn thine house upon thee with fire. That's a bit much. They got emotional. They got a little bit emotional. Their heart was in the right place, but it wasn't according to knowledge. But you want to have that fire where you're mad that if brothers went to war, went to camp, and ain't call, you might be mad. If brother did a live marathon class and didn't let me know, I'll be mad. A lot of you brothers, man, that's even, you'll be pissed. Even when stuff happened at camp, if a brother was late or whatever, he got stuck in traffic and, something happened, the brother come back, damn, I missed out. Damn, it always happens when I'm not here. You want to have that zeal, that fire, and that passion to love your nation the way the Ephraimites did. If you don't have that, then you have nothing at all. You have absolutely nothing at all. Why? Because that passion is everything. It's everything. Now, again, did they handle it the way it should have been handled in wisdom? No. Should you be burning your brother's house down because he didn't call you going to camp? Obviously not. But let's read on. Judges chapter 12 and 2. And Jephthah said unto them, I and my people were at great strife with the children of Ammon. And when I called you, ye delivered me not out of their hands. He said, I called you, wasn't there. And when I saw that ye delivered me not, I put my life in my hands and passed over against the children of Ammon. And the Lord delivered them into my hand. Wherefore then are ye come up unto me this day to fight against me? And this is heavy too. Judges 12 and 3, it says, and when I saw that ye delivered me not, I put my life in my hands. A lot of brothers, you're waiting on brothers, man. He said, I put my life in my hands. I'm going out there. I got to save my people. I got to do the work of the Lord. I got to do something. I'm going to put my life in my hands. I'm looking for this brother, looking for this. Whereas these brothers, I'm putting my life in my hands. I'm doing the video right now. You know what, man? I've been waiting around, man, for years. It seemed like I'm the only one in my city. I'm here by myself. I've been trying to reach out. I ain't got responses. I didn't get no help. I ain't gonna blame nobody. I'm gonna put my life in my hands. I'm hitting the mall. I'm doing flyer missions. It is what it is. So Jephthah, not only did he have a mind where he put his emotions and his own alts on the back burner, when he saw that there was no help, he called upon the Most High. He put his life in his hands, and the Lord was with him. The Lord was with him. And sometimes you got to do that, man. Telling brothers that on the call, man. You brothers that are in positions of leadership, when all hell is breaking loose, you're supposed to take the reins. If all hell is breaking loose and you need to take that microphone and start teaching from another brother, then you got to do that. If you got to make the call, you got to make the call. And you can't regard emotions, because you're looking for the well-being of the ministry and the brothers. You got to move brothers. If you got powerful readers, you got to put those powerful readers on the line. If you got to move camp spots, you got to move camp spots. You got to make the call. That's what leadership is about, adjusting and making the call. And you brothers that are by yourself, man, you got to have this mind. It's a brother in North Dakota. Brother hit me up here and there. Solid brother. It's a brother in Suriname. The brother Daniel. He's in Suriname. He's in the camp, but he's by himself. The brother goes out there on flyer missions. Brother drops his videos. He does his thing. He's not waiting for 5 other brothers. I need 5 brothers to do the work. I want to have a camp of 5 brothers. Put his life in his hands. And he passed over and the Lord is with him. Have that mindset, man. Let's go to the book of Joshua, chapter 3. Right? Let's go to Joshua, the 3rd chapter. So we're showing you the prominent acts of our forefathers. Showed you Zerubbabel. We showed you Paul. Showed you not to be like Saul in 1 Samuel 10. Showed you Jephthah. These are prominent leaders amongst the nation. This is Joshua chapter 3. Is this what I want? What did I say? I wanted 3 and maybe Deuteronomy. Salakia, bear with me. Probably put the wrong precept down. Salakia. Okay, this is what I want. This Deuteronomy chapter 3 and 26. Remember, this is Moses talking to the generation that's about to go into the promised land. Deuteronomy 3 and 26. But Yahweh, Bahashmi Awashai, was wroth with me for your sakes, and would not hear me. And Yahweh said unto me, let it suffice thee. Speak no more unto me of this matter. He said, I don't want to hear you asking me about going into the promised land. It's a wrap. It's done. Finito. It's finished. I bet not hear you say it again. That's what the Most High told Moses, the man of God. Verse 27. Here's what else he told Moses. Get thee up into the top of Pisgah, and lift up thine eyes westward, and northward, and southward, and eastward, and behold it with thine eyes, for thou shalt not go over this Jordan. You can see it, but you ain't crossing the Jordan River to go into the land. Verse 28. But charge Joshua, and encourage him, and strengthen him, for he shall go over before this people, and he shall cause them to inherit the land which thou shalt see. And that's heavy, man. Imagine where your mind has to be. Here it is. You done put up with Israel for 40 years in the wilderness. You done taught them laws, set up a priesthood, performed miracles. You done did all of this. You're asking to go to the promised land. You got to put yourself in the shoes of Moses. And this is another trait that makes Moses one of the most prominent leaders of any Israelite that ever lived. Top 5. He was told he's not getting the promised land. That's enough for a brother to say, man, the hell with this. Why am I even doing the work? What's the point? Imagine the Lord came to you and said, you're not getting the kingdom. That's essentially what he told him. You're not getting the kingdom. You're not going on this first resurrection. When these chariots come, they're not beaming you up. But that brother right there, I need you to exhort that brother. He's going to get beamed up. He's going to be in the chariot, but you're not going. You strengthen that brother, encourage him, because he's going to be in the chariot. How many brothers are going to do that? How many brothers are going to do that, man? You know how strong you got to be as a leader to hear that, accept it, and do it? That's heavy. And guess what Moses did? He did it. He did it. And he was sincere when he did it. And when you read the book of Joshua, all of the mighty feats that Joshua did, all of the mighty acts that Joshua did, sun, stand thou still, moon, be thou still, all of that was a byproduct of the encouragement that Moses gave Joshua. This is, again, selflessness, man. This is called, what do they call it? I can't think of the exact word, but it's having a strong mind, resilience. You told you're not going to get the promised land, but that brother is. Strengthen that brother, increase that brother. He's going to make it. You're not going to make it. Don't ask me again. Stop praying about it. Just worry about him. A lot of brothers say, man, who the hell is he, man? Hey, that could put a spirit on the brother. Envy. That's why Moses was charged to do this and not nobody else, because Moses was the meekest man on the earth. A brother might be envious. That's when jealousy comes in. What the fuck? You might start looking at Joshua. He could have been looking at, not saying he did, but a carnal man might start looking at Joshua side eyes. This nigga think he is, man. He was remember, Joshua was under Moses. It's not as if they didn't know each other. Joshua was under Moses, his minister. I'm over you. I gotta strengthen you. You was under me. You was serving me. No, I ain't doing that. The hell with that. Drop dead, Lord, kill me. A lot of men would do that, but not Moses. He's the meekest man on the earth. Let's get that in Numbers 12. Right? Humility. So I typed in meek. Right? Let's go to Numbers 12. Right? Numbers chapter 12 and verse number 3. Now the man Moses was very meek above all the men which are upon the face of the earth. That's why Moses was the perfect man for that job. I can't imagine. I don't even know, in all honesty, how I would handle that, because I've never been in that situation. I've never been in a situation, and God forbid that I am, where the Lord comes to me and says, you're not getting the kingdom. When these chariots come, you're not getting beamed up. But that brother is. Strengthen that brother, help that brother, exhort that brother, because he's going to make it and you're not going to make it. It's a heavy, heavy, heavy matter. Heavy matter. But strong leaders, they follow instruction and they don't get emotional. They don't get emotional. Envy doesn't. Strong leaders aren't envious. It may be a brother. If you're in a position of leadership, you might have a brother underneath you that may be stronger than you in certain areas. And it's not up for you to be envious about that. It's up for you to strengthen that. Brother might be a better reader than you. Brother might be a better teacher than you. A brother might be stronger at exhortation than you. And you might be over him in the spirit. This is for you brothers that are leaders. Be like Moses. Stop being envious of the talents that those men have, but strengthen those spirits through exhortation and put those brothers in situations where they can, build themselves up. That's what Moses did. And I mean, if you want to know how it played out, read the book of Joshua. Right? Actually, we're going to go to Joshua. I had that one written. Right? Let me see where I'm at with time. All right, we're making good time. All right, let's go to Joshua chapter 1. You want to know how it played out? How did the encouragement work? How did the exhortation happen? This is Joshua chapter 1. How did Joshua receive that? Joshua chapter 1 and 1. Now, after the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord, it came to pass that the Lord spake unto Joshua, the son of Nun, Moses' minister, saying, Moses, my servant, is dead. Now, therefore, arise, go over this Jordan, thou and all this people, unto the land which I do give to them, even to the children of Israel. So let's jump down to verse number, let's jump down to 9. It reads, this is what the Lord told Joshua. Have not I commanded thee? Be strong and of a good courage. Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed, for the Lord thy God is with thee, whithersoever thou goest. So the Lord told that same thing to who? Jeremiah. Right? Really, it's for us. Be strong and of a good courage. Strong leaders are courageous. Right? They're willing to take on adversity. They're willing to lead their people through a fire, through deep waters. That's what courage is. Courage is not something that necessarily can be taught. Courage has to be in you, and it's a gift from the Most High. To stand bold in the face of adversity, to consider the men the Most High have surrounded you with, and make the right decisions and boldness and faith to deliver brothers from those foresaid matters. So Joshua was charged to be strong and of good courage. And you can't go out there on the highways and byways if you don't have good courage. You're going to get overthrown. Verse number 10. You might have a damn Edomite spitting in your face, man. And there was a video with a brother. We all seen it. If you haven't seen it, the Edomite pulled a damn gun, man, on the brother. That brother was of good courage. All praise to the Most High for the spirit on that brother being of good courage. He could have knocked the tripod down at him and ran. He could have put his Bible down, said, stop, please, I won't read another verse. I won't read another chapter. Look, I'm not in Israel. He could have did all manner of things, but that brother was of good courage. And you see, when you're of good courage, you brothers that didn't see the video, go check it out. You go find it. But you see when you're of good courage, how the Most High was with him. He overcame that Edomite and took his sword out of his hand the same way Judas Maccabees took the sword of Apollonius out of his hand. I believe that's First Maccabees, the 3rd chapter. The same way that David took Goliath's sword. So be strong and of good courage. Joshua 1 and 10. Then Joshua commanded the officers of the people, saying, pass through the host, and command the people, saying, prepare you victuals, for within 3 days they shall pass over this Jordan to go in to possess the land which the Lord your God hath given you to possess it. So he heard the encouragement from Moses, and he's walking boldly through the army, saying it's time for war. It's time for war. So you brothers that are in leadership, that encouraging and exhortation can go a long way. It could light a brother on fire, right? And let's see how Joshua did. Let's go to Joshua 10. Joshua chapter 10 and verse number 22. Joshua 10 and 22. Then said Joshua, open the mouth of the cave and bring out those 5 kings unto me out of the cave. So when you read this account, they went to war, they slew these kings, and these kings, they slew these armies, and their leaders ran into this cave, right? These 5 kings ran into a cave to hide. They were hiding from the Israelites, right? Verse 23, and they did so, and brought forth those 5 kings unto him out of the cave, the king of Jerusalem, the king of Hebron, the king of Jarmuth, the king of Lachish, and the king of Eglon. All these are Canaanites. And it came to pass, when they brought out those kings unto Joshua, that Joshua called for all the men of Israel, and said unto the captains of the men of war, which went with him, come near, put your feet upon the necks of these kings. And they came near and put their feet upon the necks of them. Now, why did Joshua do this, man? Joshua could have said, just kill them, light them on fire, chop their head off. See, Joshua learned a key lesson from Moses, and he knew that power of encouragement. And you brothers, you know how it feels to be exhorted. You got to take that same gift and give that to brothers, man. So Joshua, he called all of Israel. I need everybody to see this. Here's the power that you have. He called the captains, put your foot on these damn heathen neck, man. So everybody can see that and be encouraged. Everybody can see that and then light a fire under them. And that's what good leaders do. Good leaders find a way to encourage and to exhort and to keep the fire burning. You even see that in the world of sports, man. You got those, they call it the heart of the defense or the heart of the team. Your Ray Lewis's of the world. Your, they say Draymond Green was like that for basketball. But there's always those brothers when the team is down, when they're at their wits' end, they're down 3 points, it's 5 seconds left. They call the timeout. And a lot of times those coaches, they'll leave. They'll leave and let the players talk. And that captain of that team, he'll be pointing at people's chests, man, yelling at people, encouraging people, reminding them that they have a championship pedigree. And they'll go out with 5 seconds left and they'll win that game. Strong leaders could do that. They could turn nothing to something. Not because of skill, but because of will. Will can overcome skill all the time. People have the skill, but they don't have the will. Strong leaders understand that. And exhortation is also a gift. It's also a gift. Moses had that. Joshua had that. And he saw how it felt to receive that, so he gave that to his brothers. He said, come put your feet on the necks of these kings, man. Let's read on Joshua 10 and 25. And Joshua said unto them, fear not, nor be dismayed. Be strong and of a good courage. Who told him that? Moses. He's telling that to the rest of the captains. So Joshua is a fantastic, beautiful leader. Because the things that he was taught, he passed that down. The things that were profitable for him, he didn't keep that to himself. He said, I can use that to build up the nation. I can use that to encourage my people. That was his mind. The Lord telling Joshua to be strong, it wasn't really just for him. It was for all of Israel. Fear not, nor be dismayed. Be strong and of good courage, for thus shall Yahweh do to all your enemies do to all your enemies against whom ye fight. And afterward, Joshua smote them and slew them and hanged them on 5 trees, and they were hanging upon the trees until the evening. So Joshua was also great in exhortation. So you brothers that are in leadership, exhortation is a beautiful gift. It's a beautiful gift, man. Right? Again, will can defeat skill anytime. Right? Anytime. Especially when you have Yahweh Bashmi Shai with you. Let's go to Esther. So we're reading about exhortation, selflessness, humility, sacrifice, accepting your calling, gifts, talents, rising to the occasion, not hiding amongst the stuff. Esther chapter 10, And verse number 3. For Mordecai, the Jew, was next unto King Ahasuerus, and great among the Jews, and accepted of the multitude of his brethren, seeking the wealth of his people, it's like speaking peace to all his seed. So now we're reading about Mordecai, right? Now you can say, well, Mordecai is not a leader. He didn't go to war. He didn't have a sword in his hand. How many enemies did Mordecai kill? Well, you haven't read the book of Esther. Any brother that's questioning Mordecai, well, how many heathen did he kill? How many heads did he chop off? You don't know Mordecai, man. One thing about Mordecai is that Mordecai, through the Spirit of the Most High, first of all, he hated the so-called white man more than you hate the so-called white man. Mordecai sought the wealth of his people more than most brothers seek the wealth of his people. It says seeking the wealth of his people and speaking peace to all his seed. Brothers that are in positions of leadership and are up and coming leaders, it's your job to seek the wealth of your people, to think about the estate of your people, especially in these last days, man. To strengthen the things that are ready to die. Right? Let's go to let's read Esther, the 4th chapter. I'm not gonna read the whole 4th chapter, but there's a particular verse or two I wanted to touch on. Let's read Esther 4:1 through 4. Then we're going to jump down. So when you read the 3rd chapter in the book of Esther, that's where Haman and Lot was cast, right? And how the Israelites were going to be destroyed, essentially. And Mordecai, he was in a high position in the king's court where he knew exactly what was going to go on. Now, this is Esther chapter 4:1. When Mordecai perceived all that was done, Mordecai rent his clothes and put on sackcloth with ashes and went out into the midst of the city and cried with a loud and bitter cry. So he heard that there was a set day where all of Israel would be wiped off the earth, and came even before the king's gate, for none might enter into the king's gate clothed with sackcloth. And in every province, whithersoever the king's commandment and his decree came, there was a great mourning among the Jews, and fasting, and weeping, and wailing, and many lay in sackcloth and ashes. Right? They were humbling themselves, asking the Most High to save them from this evil that seemed inevitable. Verse number 4. So Esther's maids and her chamberlains came and told her. Then was the queen exceedingly grieved. And she sent raiment to clothe Mordecai and to take away his sackcloth from him, but he received it not. So she said, man, we got to get you out this estate. Take this sackcloth off. You know, what's going on? Then called Esther for Hatak. Actually, I'm going to jump down. So when you read, I'm not going to read the whole thing for sake of time, but Mordecai told Esther all of the evil that was going to happen to the Jews, right? That he was going to pay, that Haman was going to pay to destroy all of the Jews. He told Esther that. Verse number 8. Also, he gave him the copy of the writing of the decree that was given at Shushan to destroy them, to show it unto Esther, and to declare it unto her, and to charge her that she should go in unto the king to make supplication unto him, and to make request before him for her people. So Mordecai's mom was like, man, look, I can't sit here and wail all day. I got to do something. I got to do something. And I mean, brothers, we're all going through these curses. You got brothers, you're sad, upset, vexed, grieved. You work with a lot of Edomites. You work with Jake, man. You're going through hell. You know, some brothers, you're crying, you're weeping. You know, you're fasting, you're praying. But you got to do something. When are you going to do something about it? See, Mordecai, he had all that. He was weeping, he was sad, but he put action into play. He had a plan. He had a thought. What can I do to save my people? You got brothers that complain all day. Oh my God, I hate work. Oh, I work around these Edomites. Oh, my back hurt. Oh, I work 10 hours. I work 12 hours. I worked overnight. This and that, and the police and oppression. Well, what are you doing about it, man? What are you doing about it? You just sitting around complaining all day, man? Moaning? When are you going to get up and do something? Brothers take that you take your complaints very lightly because you're not doing nothing. You're doing absolutely nothing, and you do the most complaining. Mordecai wasn't just sitting in the king's court crying all day. He had a plan. He had a mind to build up his people that saved them. He told Esther, look, here's the plan. You go before this heathen, this king, and you tell him what I want you to tell him. Verse number 9. And Hatak, this Esther 4:9, and Hatak came and told Esther the words of Mordecai. And again, Esther spake unto Hatak and gave him commandment unto Mordecai. Here's what she said. All the king's servants and the people of the king's provinces do know that whosoever, whether man or woman, shall come unto the king into the inner court, who is not called, there is one law of his to put him to death, except such to whom the king shall hold out the golden scepter, that he may live. But I have not been called to come into the king these 30 days. She said, look, I can't do that. You want me to go before the king? Everybody and their mother know that if you go before the king unannounced, you die. I hadn't seen him in 30 days. You think I could just show up right now? I'm gonna drop dead. So Esther, that fear kind of came in. It kind of came in. I can't just go before the king. Verse number 12. And they told Mordecai's Esther's words. Then Mordecai, this where Mordecai put his foot down. Mordecai said, I don't want to hear that. That has nothing to do with anything. This is where leadership comes into play. Then Mordecai commanded to answer Esther, think not with thyself that thou shalt escape in the king's house more than all the Jews. Sometimes you gotta say, yo, where your mind at, man? You think that you're gonna escape too? If you don't go and say nothing, we're all gonna die. You're gonna die too. Sometimes you got to get people to understand the gravity of the matter. Mordecai didn't cuss her out. Sometimes you got to ask people questions so they can really understand. You got to kind of walk them down because they may not see the big picture. Due to fear and these spirits and the unknown, he let her see the big picture. He said, look, you tripping. Not only are you going to die, but we're all going to die. And here's what else he told her. Verse 14. For if thou, and he didn't wait on nobody. Like in Jephthah, he took his matter to his own hands. He ain't waiting on nobody to come save him, huh? Now of course, we're waiting on the Most High, but I'm speaking about mortal man. You got to have an action mindset. It's okay to weep. It's okay to complain. It's okay the Lord said, he set a mark upon all the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. In the book of Ezekiel, the 9th chapter. It's fine. We're supposed to cry unto the Most High. But you brothers, this is a call for leadership. You have to take that next step. You have to take that next step, and now it's time to put in action. Verse number 14, Esther 4:14. For if thou, here's what else he told Esther. For if thou altogether holdest thy peace at this time, then shall their enlargement and deliverance arise to the Jews from another place. But thou and thy father's house shall be destroyed. And who knoweth whether thou art come to the kingdom for such a time as this? That's some cold words right there, Ma. He said, if you don't say anything, the Most High could deliver us. right? But you're going to be caught out there. You and your father's house, you're going to be destroyed. You got to put stuff into perspective. And then he made her think. He said, who knows? You were called to be the queen just to save us. This is what started everything. The complaining, the weeping, the mourning, all of the groaning, then action. Sometimes you got to get Israel to understand to get the hell up. All those excuses don't matter. What Esther said was really no fault to Esther. It has nothing to do with anything. She didn't see the big picture. Strong leaders help people understand the big picture. The brother may not see the whole matter. There's a thing in the world of management. There's a thing called change management. So when there are new for brothers in the so-called in this workplace, there's a thing called change management philosophies. When there's a new process or new task that's implemented, you can't just throw it at Jake or anybody, because they're going to question, why am I doing this? Why did they switch my responsibilities? What does this have to do with anything? You have to you have to make people aware to understand why things are changing. You got to get people to buy into the change. You have to get people to accept and see the big picture on why you're changing the process. They have to understand and have the knowledge of it. Sometimes you can't just tell Jake what to do. You got to kind of get them to see step 1 to step 10. Then they say, oh, that makes sense. That's why you want me to build the box this way and not build it that way. I thought you was just giving me more work. It makes sense. Oh, okay, I get it now. And then you'll get more productivity and you'll be more efficient. But if you just throw stuff at Jake sometimes without getting them to kind of understand, you won't have any success. So and Mordecai had that mind. He said, look, man, I got to get her to see the big picture. He can't just say, I don't care about that. Go to the king. He put it all on a table so she can understand how important it is for her to go before the king. I'm going to read it again. Esther 4:14. For if thou altogether holdest thy peace at this time, then shall their enlargement and deliverance arise to the Jews from another place. But thou and thy father's house, he told her, you and your father's house, shall be destroyed, and who knoweth whether thou art come to the kingdom for such a time as this. Right? Let me see if I can type that in. Change management. See if they got something on that. Right. Well, long story short. Okay, see that change management is the structured process of guiding people through organizational change, ensuring that transitions are smooth, successful, and that the new ways of working are adopted. You can't just throw something at people at the workplace, say, do this now. Esther, just go before the king. You got to have a smooth transition so she can understand. That's what leadership is about. It involves planning, communicating, and supporting employees so that they understand the reasons for change and have the knowledge and ability to adapt, ultimately helping the organization meet its goals. Right? So that's what that is. Right? So that's what leaders do even in this this system. Let's read on. Esther 4:15. Then Esther bade them return Mordecai this answer. Go, gather together all the Jews that are present in Shushan, and fast they for me, and neither eat nor drink 3 days, night or day. I also and my maidens will fast likewise, and so will I go in into the king, which is not according to the law, and if I perish, I perish. So Mordecai went his way and did according to all that Esther had commanded him. And again, this is one of the coldest statements in the whole Bible, man. The whole Bible. And it is what it is. If I die, I die. I'm going to put everybody on my back. If I die, I die. She's a virtuous, righteous, selfless woman. And now she finally got to see what Mordecai was saying. She finally got to understand, oh, this is big. This is a big deal. There's no other way. If I perish, I perish. Right? Let's go to the book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 13 and 1. So Mordecai was a prominent leader. Yes, you can complain, you can grieve, you can, be upset, but you have to take that next step. And it's truth. What are you going to do about it? You're going to put your hand to the plow? Are you going to labor? You're going to be on fire? You're going to strengthen the things that are remaining, that are ready to die? 1 Maccabees, chapter 13 and verse number 1. Actually, I'm going to jump. Let's read one. Right? So 1 Maccabees, chapter 13 and 1. Now when Simon heard that Tryphon had gathered together a great host to invade the land of Judea and destroy it, and saw that the people was in great trembling and fear, he went up to Jerusalem and gathered the people together. You see that? He didn't just let the people kind of stay trembling and, their anxieties at an all-time high and they're fearful. He said, I have to gather the people together, right? Strong leaders know how to gather the people together. Verse 3, and gave them exhortation. See that? Saying, ye yourselves know what great things I and my brethren and my father's house have done for the laws and the sanctuary, the battles also, and troubles which we have seen. By reason whereof all my brethren are slain for Israel's sake, and I am left alone. He's reminding them of all of the wars that Judas had, Jonathan had, their father had. And he says, I'm left alone. I'm the last one. This is Simon speaking. I'm left alone. Verse 5. And again, remember, some brothers are only strong when there's other brothers around them. And you're supposed to be. There's no fault. You're supposed to be strong when brothers are around you. Right? Two are better than one. And the threefold cord is not quickly broken. But don't just be strong when brothers are around you. Simon could have waited. I don't have Judas. I don't have Jonathan. I can't do this. I can't do this. Even when you're left alone, you're never alone. You got, like I said, you got brothers in cities, they're by themselves, man. Straight up and down. But you're never alone. Jonathan really wasn't alone, but he's telling them that he don't have his brothers with him anymore. Now the Lord said, when I am weak, then am I strong. And 2 Corinthians, the 12th chapter. This is where the power of the Most High begins to rest upon you. When you're alone, when you're weak, when you're destitute, right? A strong spirit of leadership is going to utilize that to be strong and to rise to the occasion. Let me get that in 2 Corinthians. He said, I'm left alone. I don't have nobody. But that didn't stop him, right? That didn't stop him. 2 Corinthians chapter 12 and verse number 10. Therefore, I take pleasure in infirmities, in reproaches, in necessities, and persecutions, and distresses for Hamashiach's sake. For when I am weak, then am I strong. And this is always a heavy verse right here. He said, when I am weak, then am I strong. And you might feel weak, man. Your back is against the wall. You're at your wit's end. You look for the succor of men, and there was none. That's when you're the strongest. That's when Yahweh Shah's power is on you. That's when he's looking at you for you to rise to the occasion, to be courageous, to be strong in the Lord, to be like Joshua, to be like Moses. All these men we've been reading about, Jephthah, who put his life in his own hands, Moses, who was told, you're not getting the kingdom. He was strong, and he exhorted Joshua to continue on. Simon is the same way. He said, I'm left alone. Let me read it again. First Maccabees 13:4. By reason whereof all my brethren are slain for Israel's sake, and I am left alone. Now therefore, be it far from me that I should spare mine own life in any time of trouble, for I am no better than my brethren. And he was also humble. A lot of brothers that may be in leadership don't get high-minded. You're no better than your brothers. You are your brothers, man. You are with your brothers. You got brothers in leadership pulling brothers by the collar, yoking them up, sunning them, treating them like they damn children, your son, like a slave. Pick that up. Come over here. Good boy. Tie my boots up. Hey, that's off, man. You tell the brother, lace my boots up. You know it's time for camp. Brother getting down, he tying your boots up, right? Right, telling them how to do it, and right, wipe the dust off my boots. Brother take his rag, he's sweating, it's hot. He got the polish, you getting your boots ready. That's madness. That's absolute madness, man. And there's a reason why David had mighty men with him, man. Those men was with David. Judas, Simon. Strong leaders are also humble. They're very humble. Let me go to 1 Samuel chapter 18. Right? You want to be a humble brother, humble leader, and that's to be sincere. This 1 Samuel chapter 18:5. And David went out whithersoever Saul sent him, and behaved himself wisely. And Saul set him over the men of war, and he was accepted in the sight of all the people, and also in the sight of Saul's servants. He knew how to talk to men. He was over the men of war. He knew how to be down to earth, personable. Let me pull that up. Personable, right? What does, right? To be personable means to have a pleasant, friendly, agreeable manner that makes you easy to like and be around. A lot of brothers that may be in leadership, you may not be personable. Everything's strictly business. It's just war. You can't even talk to a brother about his family, man. How your day going? You're always challenging brothers. Don't be the leader that's always challenging brothers, flexing your knowledge. What's Revelation the 9th chapter going into? What's the head to the lion that do hurt? What's the seven? Need to go to this brother. What's the 7 heads and 10 horns? I need to know that right now. Let's go. 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Then you move on to the next brother. No, man. Right? Let's read on. It says, this involves being friendly, charming, and sociable, and having a positive demeanor that makes it easy for others to connect with you. Right? So you want to be a personable brother, in a position of leadership. You don't want to be just off-putting and nobody want to be around you. It's going to be hard for brothers to receive what you're saying, to even want to be with you, to open up to you, to talk to you, man. And you got to be sincere. You can't force it. Because the brother going to see right through that. You're trying too hard. It's not like you. It got to be in you. Right? So you want to be a personable brother. You also want to have boundaries set into place. You know, you want to have boundaries, obviously, but you want to be a personable brother. David was like that. He was accepted in the sight of all the people. That's how Simon was. Right? Simon said, I'm no better than my brethren. And it wasn't just his words, his actions. He could, you know why he could say that? Because he knew the people believed that. Remember, he's exhorting the people. He's not going to say nothing that they're not going to buy into. He's saying he's spitting facts. And they knew that Simon carried himself in a manner where he knew that he was no better than his brothers. Let a brother say, I'm no better than my brothers. Brother say, man, you lying, man. You proud as hell. Can't nobody tell you nothing. Everybody can't get away with saying this. For I am no better than my brethren. Because brother's going to look at you sideways, say, no, this nigga, you're a fraud. Fake. Two-face. You know? Let me read this again. Now, therefore, be it far from me that I should spare mine own life in any time of trouble, for I am no better than my brethren. Doubtless, I will avenge my nation and the sanctuary and our wives and our children, for all the heathen are gathered to destroy us of very malice. And that's the spirit you want to have. You want to avenge your nation. That's why we read that in Psalms 94:16, Job 21:31. These are the days where we need to be avenging our nation, seeking vengeance, not through physical acts of violence and war, but through spiritual acts of gathering together, teaching the sheep, repenting, and gathering those that are scattered abroad. That's how you avenge your nation. Every brother that's in his truth, you have to have a mind of vengeance. Get back. Don't let these heathen rape, rob, murder, lie, oppress, and beguile all your people for hundreds of years, and you know the knowledge of the Most High, not do nothing about it. That's despicable. It's time for vengeance. All them strongholds they put on us, we breaking those down. All the lies they give our people, we tearing those down. It's vengeance. It's wartime. He said all the heathen are gathered to destroy us of very malice. First Maccabees 13:7. Now, as soon as the people heard these words, their spirit revived. That's beautiful leadership. Remember, the people were troubled. They were in great trembling. And through words and comfort, he revived their spirit. So that's another trait of leadership. Brothers you got to be a brother that can uplift the brother. That's strong. You know the right words to say at the right time. You know, you're genuine, and a brother feels better after he talked to you. He feels like the things that were once impossible are now possible. He feels as though the things that can never be overcome can now be overcome, and his spirit is revived. You got brothers that can revive your spirit or tear your spirit down. Be a leader and a brother, because every brother is a leader in his own walk, in his own life, in his own right. Be a brother that uplifts brothers, right? Let's go to First Maccabees chapter 14:7. Be like Simon, man. He says, soon as the people heard this, their spirit revived. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. First Maccabees chapter 14 and verse number 6. Here's what else Simon did. And enlarged the bounds of his nation and recovered the country. Remember, he was left alone, but he's still putting work in. He don't have Judas Maccabees with him. He don't have Jonathan, but he's still putting that work in. And gathered together a great number of captives, and had the dominion of Gazara and Bethsura and the tower, out of the which he took all uncleanness, neither was there any that resisted him. Then did they till their ground in peace, and the earth gave her increase, and the trees of the field their fruit. So he put peace in the nation. If you always have drama, confusion, strife, beef, envy, animosity in your respective camp or congregation, it's a problem. And the first person you want to look at is you. It's your job to quell those spirits. Hey, brothers, we're going on the fast. And let's go over these scriptures. What's the confusion? Let's break it down. Let's pray to the Most High for God. Here's what this is. In order for the trees to yield their fruit, the ground has to be in peace. The ancient men sat all in the streets, communing together of good things, and the young men put on glorious warlike apparel. He provided victuals for the cities, and set of them all manner of munition, so that his honorable name was renowned unto the end of the world. And he wasn't looking for this. He wasn't looking for his name to be renowned. He said, I got to save my people. I got to avenge my nation. But this what came with it. He wasn't looking for it, but that's what came with it. It's damn near inevitable when you put the Most High first and you're sincere. The Lord said in Zephaniah, the 3rd chapter, he's going to get his praise and fame in every land or nation where we have been put to shame. So Simon said in all of the cities, munition, right? Helped out all of the cities that was in the land. Gave them food, wealth, weapons. He strengthened those different cities. Strong leaders can strengthen brothers by giving them the things that they need. Scriptures, precepts, guidance, wisdom, leading by example, being consistent. You tell a brother or ask a brother to do something, you should have done that before. We should have saw you do that. Or see you do that in time to come. Don't tell the brother something to do that you'll never do or haven't done. You're going to procure yourself a hypocritical bad name. So Simon, he was honorable in all of the things he did. First Maccabees 14 and 11. He made peace in the land, and Israel rejoiced with great joy. For every man sat under his vine and his fig tree, and there was none to fray them. Right? There was none to fray them. Let's go to Job chapter 29. Right? Let's go to Job chapter 29 and verse 12. So this is a call for leadership. It's a call for you brothers that are already in leadership to remain consistent, to be in a spirit of servitude. Every leader is a servant. It's your job to serve the nation of Israel, the brethren, through prayer, through fasting, through inquiring what's going on, through counsel, providing structure, seeking counsel, all these things. That's your job. That's your responsibility. Those are your obligations. Washing the feet of the saints, making your body a sacrifice. This is Job chapter 29 and verse number 12. Because I delivered the poor that cried, and the fatherless, and the helm that had none to help. That's what our job, to deliver the poor, the fatherless, and those who don't have help, by bringing them back to the Most High. The blessing of him that was ready to perish came upon me, and I caused the widow's heart to sing for joy. Men that were ready to die, they blessed Job because he saved their lives. He saved widows, helped out his nation, spiritually, mentally, financially, helped the widows. Heart sing for joy. I put on righteousness, and it clothed me. My judgment was a robe and a diadem. I was eyes to the blind, and feet was eye to the lame. I was a father to the poor, and the cause which I knew not, I searched out. And I break the jaws of the wicked, and plucked the spoil out of his teeth. See that? So he had a reactive approach. A father to the poor, cause that he didn't know he searched out. And he was eyes to the blind and feet to the lame. So he guided men. And in his mind, he's always thinking, how can I further better the nation? What more can I do? What more can I do? Every brother that you're an up and coming leader, you're a servant, you're in a position of leadership, you're in this truth in general, as a man of the Most High, you should always ask yourself, what more can I do? We're not done until Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua says we're done. And we shouldn't be satisfied. Now, you should enjoy the fruit of your labor, whatever that is, but we shouldn't rest on that. You enjoy the fruit of your labor, you put your hand back to the plow, because the earth is always going to yield an increase. There's always more work that has to be done. More camps, more videos, more alms, more charity, more sacrifice, more prayer, more fasting, more selflessness, more gathering together, more traveling, more distributing to the poor. There's always more that can be done. And a brother should never say, hey, I'm done. I retire. Ain't no retirement. They don't retire. There's no retirement. Simon didn't retire, right? Let's go to Nehemiah chapter 1:1. First, let me go to Philippians. Let me see where I'm at with time. Okay, we kind of hitting that mark. This Philippians chapter 2 and verse number 3. Let nothing be done through strife or vainglory, but in lowliness of mind, let each esteem other better than themselves. So nothing in this truth should be done through strife, like arguing or intentional scoffing or cause of confusion. And you want to debate this brother to one up him, and vainglory, you want views, you want women, you want clout, you want to be seen of men. Nothing should be done through strife or vainglory. Everything should be done to help each other, to build up each other, to put each other and and brothers' wants and brothers' needs over us. Look not every man on his own things, but every man also on the things of others. And it's easy to just look on your own things, because brothers, I mean, every brother got a lot going on, man. Even you brothers that are in positions of leadership, you got your own problems going on. Right? You got your own problems, you got your own woes, you got your own sorrows, you got your own demons. And it's easy to get one track minded to kind of build yourself up. And you should look at the things that you have. But you have to remember that you also have to look on the things of others as well. Because what you're dealing with, you may have the strength to handle that, but that brother might not. That brother might need help. Some brothers don't speak up. Some brothers are closed mouth. They're bashful. They're shy. Like Job said, the cause which I knew not, I searched out. You got to consider the estate of other men and be very observant. You have to be very observant of brothers' demeanor, their spirits, their attendance. You have to be observant of brothers, demeanor. Like I said, their facial expressions. They're talking, man. What they say. Is there joy in their spirit? Do they come around? Got to be observant of these things. Doctrines, envy. This thing is for good and bad. You have to be observant of the things of others, right? Let's go to Nehemiah. Right? I would be remiss if I didn't go to Nehemiah. This is Nehemiah chapter 1 and verse number 1. The words of Nehemiah, the son of Hakaliah. And it came to pass in the month Keslu, and the 20th year, as I was in Shushan, the palace. He was in the palace, right? That Hanani, one of my brethren, came, he and certain men of Judah. And I asked him concerning the Jews that had escaped, which were left of the captivity, and concerning Jerusalem. He said, hey, look, man, How my people doing? How we doing out there? We living? How we living, man? We eating? How we eating, man? Are the houses built? Is the temple built? What's going on? His mind is on his people. The estate of his people. He's in the palace, mind you. He's the cupbearer. He has the best clothes on. He's eating the best food. He's the king's right-hand man. His mind is, hey, how my people doing, man? That's Philippians, the 2nd chapter. How is everybody else doing? Not just me. How's that brother doing? How's that family doing? How's his brother doing? Let me check on his brother. Let me shoot this text. Let me give a call. Let me send a precept. Nehemiah 1 and 3. And they said unto me, the remnant that are left of the captivity there in the province are in great affliction and reproach. The wall of Jerusalem also is broken down, and the gates thereof are burned with fire. Right? He heard, that's horrible news, man. And it came to pass when I heard these words that I sat down and wept and mourned certain days and fasted and prayed before the God of heaven. Now let's jump to the 2nd chapter. Right? Nehemiah chapter 2 and verse number, I want to get straight to the point. Let's jump down to 11. So Nehemiah, he asked the king, can he go back to Jerusalem? The Most High brought Nehemiah into favor with the king, Artaxerxes, and the king said, you can go back. Now, here's one of my favorite accounts of leadership in Nehemiah, the 2nd chapter, right? And I bring this precept out often when I discuss leadership because Nehemiah is a beautiful book for brothers that are in positions of leadership or up and coming, or you brothers in general, to see his vigor, his zeal, his mind, his passion, his organizational skills, his ability, his selflessness, his sacrifice, his integrity, his humility. So this is Nehemiah chapter 2 and 11. So I came to Jerusalem and was there 3 days. And again, he didn't have to come. He could have stayed in the palace. But it's not about him. It's not about being comfortable all the time. It's about being uncomfortable for your people. And I arose in the night, I and some few men with me. Neither told I any man what the Most High had put in my heart to do at Jerusalem. Neither was there any beast with me, save the beast that I rode upon. So he came in humble. In a leader, you don't have to utter all of your mind to everybody, right? You don't have to do that. If you do that, you're going to have a lot of problems. You're just going to deal with a lot of confusion. I'll just leave it at that. So he didn't tell everybody what the Most High put on his heart, what his plans were, what his idea was, how he was going to build up the nation. He waited to do that. And he didn't show up with a whole bunch of horses and the cavalry. He was riding solo, and he arose in the night. And spiritually, this is the nighttime. This is the spiritual nighttime. The Lord said, and let me get a quick precept on that. Spiritual nighttime. Isaiah 60 and 1. Quick precept. Isaiah chapter 60 and verse number 1. Arise, shine, for thy light is come. The glory of Yahweh, Bahashmi Abishai, is risen upon thee. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. But the Lord shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. So we're in the days of gross darkness, heavy darkness upon the people. Nehemiah in that darkness, he didn't freak off and sin. He arose in that darkness to examine the entire city. Nehemiah 2 and 13. And I went out by night by the gate of the valley, even before the dragon well, and to the dung port, and viewed the walls of Jerusalem, which were broken down, and the gate thereof were consumed with fire. Right? The gates thereof were consumed with fire. So he examined the whole city. The valley, the dragon well, even to the dung port. The dung port. You know what dung is? We don't have to do an in-depth breakdown what is dung. Why do you examine a dung port? Surely that doesn't matter. No, everything matters. Even small things matter. The Lord said, he that contemneth small things shall fall by little and little. Great things matter, small things matter. Everything's up for examination. Verse number 14. Then went I on to the gate of the fountain and to the king's pool, but there was no place for the beast that was under me to pass. Then went I up by night by the brook. Slakia. Then went I up in the night by the brook and viewed the wall and turned back and entered by the gate of the valley and so returned. So he's viewing the wall. He's looking at the cracks, the breaches, what material can be used. How many people does it take to build this wall? What weapons do we need? How long is it going to take? How can I get these people to do this and build this? In his mind, he's coming up with a plan. He's looking at the decayed state of the people, and believe it or not, Nehemiah is formulating a plan. Right? And that's what brothers have to do, man. You see things out of order, put together a plan, an action plan. Nehemiah 2:16. And the rulers knew not whither I went or what I did, neither had I as yet told it to the Jews, nor to the priests, nor to the nobles, nor to the rulers, nor to the rest that did the work. Then said I unto them, yea, see the distress that we are in, how Jerusalem lieth waste, and the gates thereof are burned with fire. Come, and let us build upon the wall of Jerusalem, that we be no more a reproach. Then I told them of the hand of my God, which was good upon me, as also the king's words that he had spoken unto me. And they said, let us rise up and build. So they strengthened their hand for this good work. So that's beautiful right there. He went out by night and he examined the entire city. And you brothers over cities, over camps, over households, you have wives, you have children. Even if you don't, you examine yourself. We're likened unto a city, walls and, gates. Examine what things are lacking. Where's the breaches? What has to be repaired? What has to be rebuilt? Nehemiah did it by night. And he saw how he could save his nation by examining their decayed estate. And he was very humble in that fashion. So again, we're in the end of the world, man. These are the last days. Day by day, these nations are coming together, having councils, global peace deals and treaties, and they're summing up generals, leaders. They're rising to the occasion, right? Trump is talking about, we went into this before. Trump is talking about the Insurrection Act, right? Martial law, Jacob's trouble. Right? These are the things that are happening on the earth, man. And it's time for brothers to rise to the occasion. Shake that dust off your feet. Put your hand to the plow. Get up. Pray for gifts and talents. Congregate. Travel. Make your body a living sacrifice and do the work of the Most High. The Lord said in Matthew, let me get this real quick. Every brother needs to be putting their hand to the plow in some form or fashion. Matthew chapter 9 and verse number 37. Then saith he unto his disciples, the harvest truly is plenteous, but the laborers are few. Pray ye therefore the Lord of the harvest, that he will send forth the laborers into his harvest. We're waiting on the harvest, man. We need more laborers. This is a plenteous harvest. Immortality, everlasting life, crowns, dominion, peace, sovereignty, promises, prophecies, rulership, your feet on the necks, Edomites and slavery, chains, the curses on them. All of that is the harvest. Harvest don't just come by chance. It takes men that labor that plant the seeds, that endure the elements, that reap the crops, then that's how you get the harvest. You got to work. If you want the harvest, you have to work. So with that, we're going to close up, giving, of course, our honor and our glory to Yahweh. This is end times, a call to leadership in the last days. Most High willing, you was edified. No buying on the Sabbath, no cooking on the Sabbath, no doing work on the Sabbath, no sex on the Sabbath, no speaking your own words, doing your own pleasures. Keep this day holy. Brothers, examine yourself. This is a call to leadership in the last days. Put your hand to the plow. Get up. Do the work of the Most High. Time is running out. If you don't know what to do, pray to the Most High. You can reach out. We got the email. We got information. Most High willing, brothers are endeavoring to do this work. We can't wait on nobody else. You can't. We have. We're the ones with the knowledge. This is our calling. Ezra told them, and Nehemiah told them, you have nothing to do with us. We ourselves will build. They told them, we going to build, man. That's what they told the heathen. They said, we are the servants of the Most High God, and we going to build. And then Nehemiah says they strengthened their hands to do the work. It's time to strengthen your hands and do this work, man. Time is running out. So again, with that, Yahweh Ba'Shema Mashak Wamalakim Shai Brakathum, Kwam Yasha. Shalom.